Marshall Street. This row of terrace cottages, then due east for 250 yards.
We're not the first ITV team to make this journey along this street.
Many streets in Smethwick have far bigger proportions.
56 years ago, this one used language deemed appropriate at the time.
It's here that the whites have banded together and look as though they'll persuade the Conservative-controlled council to halt the coloured invasion. To save Marshall Street, they say, from becoming a black ghetto.
He describes how white residents had petitioned for a form of apartheid on a suburban street.
They use the back gardens for toilets. I don't think they know what the toilets are for.
She's lying. She's just racist, that one.
The white people are more...
Does that hurt you?
More than the coloured people.
Does that hurt to hear that?
Yeah, that woman.
It's difficult for 79-year-old RAPHAEL to relive it. The hostile reception when he arrived in Smethwick from Jamaica back then.
They thought maybe because you're black, you're dirty in it, so they ain't gonna sit beside you or whatever. That's all it is.
And today?
Eh?
And now?
It's much better. It's a lovely place now. Even the climate change. We got 6 months of summer now.
The area had just elected an MP who campaigned using a racist slogan. And into that toxic atmosphere flew Malcolm X, the American civil rights leader. He'd been invited by local people to see how they were being treated.
So he walked alone all the way to the end of the Marshall Street and then turned back. Very calm, very composed. He said it is worse than the United States. That was his comment when he returned.
But whatever they're told about progress, for many younger people this issue is not history. A debate in black and white which has evolved in the colour age. To be a black or Asian family on Marshall Street is not the same as it was. People talk back then about offensive insults being hurled in the street. And now they say they fear private prejudice, expressed without words, but with consequences. Things have changed a lot, but expectations have changed much more. These men all work with teenagers in Smethwick and say suspicious looks, rejected CVs and police stops are often today's signs of discrimination. Unprovable but unforgettable.
It's not accepted anymore because it's not the social norm. So back in the days you were told like things you have to put up with it. That's just the way that the world is.
It's been not as open, my experiences. So for me, I've had people, sort of look at me in a certain way. And I've also experienced it in other places apart from Smethwick.
Definitely exists, and it's always going to take a different shape or form. Unfortunately, we're in a society where the youth of today have to fit into that society, but maybe we should be creating a society that's mainly suited towards these youngsters of today.
As the people settle snugly into their tight little houses, they wonder what Marshall Street's 79th New Year will bring to this part of what's called the Black Country.
Race and equality are back in the news, though for many people here they're not issues considered every few decades, but felt every day. Rohit Khatri, News at 10, Marshall Street, Smethwick.